Bet you didn't know that you can overdose on marijuana. Well, you can. It's called CHS, cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. Look it up.
And then they came and told me she has CHS. What is CHS? Cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome, right? What is that? She's overdosing off of weed.
So when the doctor walked in and he had the diagnosis for what was wrong with you, what did he say?
He said that she could be me overdosing off weed.
Did you tell him the truth about like how many blunts you usually smoke in a day?
Yes.
And what did they say when you said like 40?
I'm going to keep it 100. People that are probably going to look at this and be like, oh, they lying. No, literally. We smoke 45 blunts a day.
All day. Like, I was smoking in between my clients. I was smoking before I got to my clients. I was smoking just to go to sleep. I was smoking pretty much to do anything. You feel me? So it was just like, it was too much on my body. It was tolling my body down.
This is not a fictitious thing. This is really real. And there's been 5 deaths from it in Indiana that has not been publicized. It's been deaths in other parts of the world too because of this, because by the time they get to the hospital, they don't know what's wrong with them. And it's too late, right? So not only weed, they're out here, a lot of kids pop pills. They're putting fentanyl on the pills. You know what I'm saying? To be aware is to be alive anywhere that you go, you know? So CHS is a very real thing. It's a very real syndrome. You can really overdose off marijuana. Just because I smoke don't mean you go out there and smoke 45 blunts. No, that's not for you. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn. Read. Your brain is the strongest muscle that you have in your body. Use it.
This mother-daughter duo shares their amazing story about how a life was almost lost due to overindulging in marijuana. What was your first time smoking like?
Ooh, I thought I was teleporting. Really? I promise you, I thought I was teleporting. I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, first, the reason why I even did it is because I was emotional and I was sad. And all my friends were smoking and stuff, and they was like, smoking to help or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, alright, come on, I'm gonna do it, whatever. So I'm sitting there, I'm on my phone, literally, like on Snapchat making a video. I'm like, man, this stuff don't work. Literally, my body is moving in slow motion. I'm like, what you give me? I'm like, they laced me. I'm like, I literally was moving. I did not remember me blanking out. Like I move. I blank out. I'm sitting down. I'm like, I'm teleporting. I'm like, wow. I'm moving. I was just tweaking. I was freaking out. It made me real paranoid.
What kind of weed was it? Because, you know, at the time, Reggie, DreaO, I mean, now everybody just got loud.
Well, our generation call it loud.
Loud.
So, I mean, I don't know. They just be putting names on stuff.
I remember when it was like Reggie, and then if you had a DreaO blunt that was like some special you smoked that with your friends, your close friends.
I never heard of that one.
No, DreaO? I'm a little bit older than you, so you know. Okay. Okay, so after the first time you did it, did you do it again? Like, was it just that one time you were hooked, or?
I mean, I wasn't hooked at first. It was like I do it every now and then because I didn't know how to roll up my own weed.
That's how it always starts.
I always had to smoke with somebody or something so I could get them to roll my blunt. And then I didn't care at the moment because I didn't really smoke like that. So I get high super fast and I'd be like, all right, y'all can have the rest of it. But then it was like, I say like a month or 2 of me smoking, I kind of got addicted. And it was like, okay, I'm tired of smoking with y'all. I'm finna learn to roll my own weed.
Yeah.
And
that's how it happens. It's like a slow, gradual, you know. Yeah. So once you started smoking on your own, like, did it change your personality? Did it change your activities? Did you notice?
Well, with me, the older me being and the years of me smoking, I would say yes, it has changed me because I was way more active before I started smoking. I was dancing. I had time to walk to the stove. I could walk just to walk. Now I'd be like, all right, give me the car key. I ain't walking. Like, I ain't gonna make it slowed my body down a lot. It really has. It told on my body.
I'm Chef Truth, aka Alethea Ellis. And I'm here to tell you about the story of my daughter almost overdosing off weed. Okay, so I was born on the south side of Chicago, born and raised on 71st and King Drive, basically a couple of blocks off of State Street. My daughter, Stacy, she's 21, she's my oldest. And then I have an 18-year-old, and then I have a 12-year-old.
What up, everybody? It's your girl DreaO, and as you know, I'm everywhere you go. And right now I have some special guests on my show. I'll let you introduce yourself.
How y'all doing? I'm Ink Dog, Hen Dog. I'm with Trust the Process, Rap a Lot Midwest Records. And I'm in affiliation with Bugup ENT.
How y'all doing? My name CEO Tony. I'm rocking with Bugup Entertainment, and I'm rocking with Rap a Lot Records.
And who do we have behind us?
Bugup and Rap a Lot Records.
Trust the Process, TDP, you
Trust
feel
the
me?
Process.
Rap a Lot Midwest, you know, mob time. The boss man's right here, you feel me?
I'm with Bugup Entertainment, so I got my own label and stuff. I'm trying to push my own label so we can get far. You feel me? I had clicked up with Trust the Process so we can push, so I can push my label and so we can get far. And what we gotta do and stuff.
Gotta go, fuck up them bitch, that's the show. That's a profile that I told them nigga when I know the ropes, cause them on his top. We say let's give them smoke. Sorry I can't go all broke. They was talking, I took notes. Now we're balling in his cold. That litty shit, she try to blow the SIT, bitch, watch me slow. Yeah, I did not go. That's why they can't nickname me. My brother should be here today. That's right, 2020 case.
What was it like? Like, what were some of the struggles that you had to deal with?
Was some of the Chicago stories, right? So growing up in Chicago, you're a Chicago kid. Drugs, gangs, violence. It's been going on since the late 80s, through the 90s, through the millennials. But the difference is now is that it's a lot of more kids getting killed than what it was back then. Back then, it was more so drug overdoses in the community, in the black urban communities. But at the same time, it was a lot of strong black entrepreneur families in the city back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I came up in a middle class American black family. We were the first family on the block to have the first color TV. My granddad had Cadillacs. He owned liquor stores, restaurants, businesses. So we had, my brother and I, my cousins, we had a very good upbringing, very respectable household. Everybody on the block respected my family.
Talk to me about when you were introduced to drugs.
Okay, so I've been introduced to drugs in a lot of different forms. Younger, I was really into gangs, right? So my mom moved me away when I was like 13 years old. She moved me to Columbia, South Carolina. My grandmother was from Newberry, but South Carolina was worse than Chicago because down there is nothing to do except for have sex, go to parties, and basically have babies, and then you have school. The regular stereotype, like, yeah, you grow up, you get a football player, they either go into the military down south or they go on to play sports down south. I was introduced into a different lifestyle of hustling down south because I went down there when I was very young. So at a very early age of my life, my mom was on drugs also in Chicago. So I have a lot of associates whose parents were on drugs in the late 80s coming up, but it did not stop her from being an excellent parent. You know what I'm saying? So back in the 80s, they were selling kids for drugs.
Wow.
So drugs is Chicago. You know what I'm saying? It's drugs. Chicago is a hustle. You know, it's a city of Vikings and vultures, right? So whatever type of way that you can accumulate funds in Chicago, those are the things that you're going to experience.
Yeah.
I tried not to expose my kids to the lifestyle that I had. I tried to expose them to more of, I'm going to work, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do this. But that world is very much and had been very much a part of my life for a very long time. So, I want to say I started doing what I was doing at about 15 years old. I started smoking weed at 16 years old, 17 years old, and I've been smoking weed ever since. So,
When did your mom find out that you were smoking?
Ooh, not too long after, honestly. Like, it was like, we'd have a set routine where all our friends smoke around the same time. And I think, like, she caught on real fast because right after we had smoked, like, we just had this set routine. I don't know where it came from. We just stuck to it and did it every day. But when I noticed she knew it was because she had come right after we smoked every day and be like, come to the store with me. I need to go to the grocery store with me. And when I first started smoking, when I say I had to organize everything and take my time, and I was moving in slow motion. So I'm in the store, she just throwing stuff in the cart. I'm like, okay. I look up, she just staring at me laughing. I'm like, what's funny? She like, nothing, it's just interesting. I'm like, oh snap. Oh, she know I'm high. Oh, she know it. Then it was one time we sitting upstairs. She like, you smoke? I'm like, nah. She like, okay, I need your pee. I got a drug test. She like, you got me? I'm like, nah. She like, so you smoke? I'm like, nah. I'm just telling her no. I'm just saying no. I'm laughing, telling her no. She like, I already know you smoke. I looked at her. She like, bring him up. I'm like, you gonna hit me? I'm like, this a trick. Like, you gonna hit me if I touch it? So I'm scared and stuff. I grab it. I'm like, I'm looking at her. I'm like, you sure not gonna hit me? Like, you're not gonna hit me, you promise. You're not gonna hit me. So I flamed it up. I'm still waiting to hit the blunt. She's like, girl, smoking. You wasting my weed. Get my blunt back. So I hit it. And she didn't really trip. But I think it's because I was like 17, 18 at the time. It's like, I'm kind of age. And then beforehand, she found out my brother smoked. And she was mad. But he was younger than I was. I kind of understood why. Because he young. And it's like, you know, bad example, but...
Growing up, did your kids see you smoking? Like,
Yes. So my mom smoked. Their aunt smoked. My brothers smoked. The whole household smoked before it was legal for us to smoke. And I'm going to say, you know, they stereotype the black community as coming up with a lot of different challenges. Anxiety, depression, this is wrong, that is wrong. And we smoked. You know, we smoked weed. I've had the advantage to see a lot of my family members, a lot of my close relatives do other drugs. Okay. So I was like, I'm never going to do those type of drugs. Right. And I didn't know what weed was, but I always liked the way it smelled. Right. So briefly, like we stayed in San Diego for about a year. We were homeless. Right. So we were living in a hotel. Literally, the hotel had like green water in the pool, right? And it was like really like off some Cheech and Chong type movies, right? So my mom, my brother, her boyfriend, and myself were in the hotel room, and they're smoking. So like I wasn't smoking then. I was like 11 to 12 years old, and I caught a contact, and I just started laughing. And they was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know. I can't stop laughing. And that's when I figured out, oh, this is something that can make me happy.
when did you find out that your daughter was smoking?
She had to be about 16, 17 years old. First I found out my son was smoking, right? So he's 2 years younger than her. So he was about 14 years old, right? And when I found out that he was smoking, I opened up a can of whoop ass and I whooped his ass. And, you know, and she was standing there like, she came in the room. She was like, I was going to stop you, right? Like later, years after, she was like, I was going to stop you. But I was like, no, I don't want any of that. I'm sorry, bro. You're going to have to take one for the team, you know, and he stopped, right? But he started back, you know what I'm saying? And my son, he also went to the Chicago public schools, but he was one of the kids that was diagnosed with so many different challenges, right? And then they wanted to put him on this medicine and they want to act like like they can't function, you know what I'm saying, in a regular world. So I'm not an advocate of that. When he turned 16, I seen that it actually calmed him down. And I was like, and he was starting to be able to relate to the real world, you know, and everyday problems and everyday things that's going on. And I seen that it was a remedy more so than a hindrance. It made him think more. It made him move different. So still my daughter had not told me, right? Because she was scared to tell me. And like she said in her previous interview, you know, I tested them. I always test them. I know what you're doing before you're gonna do it. You're mine.
Yeah.
You know? So, I did test her. She came in and I smoked with her. And the reason why I smoked with her at 17 is because my mom smoked with me at 17 years old. Now, mind you, I'm 20 years older than my daughter. So I'm about 20 years ahead when I decided to, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm 27 now. So you're 17. Okay, we're going to smoke together. And the reason being is because it's a lot of people out here that will literally put something in their drugs. They will lace the weed. And I've seen it happen to a lot of children. I've seen it happen to a lot of adults where people have given them something to cripple them. And I try to make my kids more aware than ignorant to the streets, you know? So.
When you started smoking, was it an everyday thing?
Not at first, no.
How did it gradually become that?
Hanging with people that smoke, and then us just coming together and then putting our money together and just sitting there smoking. Like, literally, we used to come together and all of it'd be like 10 of us. All of us to put our money together, we'd be spending like $300 on weed and just be sitting there smoking all the weed.
Wow.
Like,
So what would you say is the average amount of like blunts that you would smoke a day?
Well, I really want to know. To be honest with you, I say not even like 40. I'm gonna say that's the least.
In a day?
Of the day.
Wow. And explain what a blunt would look like for people that aren't familiar.
We
Like-
don't know just those fingers, but that's 'cause my cousin, y'all know the one that just like his finger, like okay. Yeah, like both of my thumbs.
Wow. Wow. 40 blunts. That's why. Okay. So, and what are you rolling them in? What are you using? Backwoods. Okay. So
Me personally, I don't. That's my thing.
backwoods, you don't like Garcia Vegas, no Swisher Sweets, nothing like that. Okay. Talk to me about a normal day of smoking. Like, can you explain to the audience, like, how many blunts do you smoke a day and how much weed is that?
So, like, I'm going to keep it 100. People that are probably going to look at this and be like, oh, they lying. No, literally. We smoke 45 blunts a day. Like, it's become a regular routine, you know? I went to my shrink, right? Like I told you previously. So I go to my shrink, I'm talking to my shrink, like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you. You know, he's like, well, do you smoke weed? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, did you smoke before you came? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you stoned right now? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I am stoned. He's like, see, listen, you don't even need it. You know, because what children and what a lot of people don't understand is that weed is actually a downer. It calms you down. So people that have high anxiety levels, people that have high stress levels, which are a lot of people in Chicago, because if you're just walking down the street, like down south, you speak to someone, hello, how are you? Here, they're like, why are you so happy? And why are you speaking to me? Because I woke up today. What do you mean? You know? So he helped me understand the drug more so than just, oh, I need to have it. No, you need to understand what you're consuming in your body to be able to consume it the right way, you know? And he also told me the best way to smoke marijuana is without papers, is without any type of enhancements, because now you're enhancing the drug. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have raw papers. That's why they have bones.
Yeah.
That's why they have one
The hitters.
because you're literally just supposed to smoke the bud of it, right?
Without the Garcia Vega.
Exactly.
Yeah. 40 blunts would be like what?
So nine packs of backwoods.
9 packs of backwoods. Okay. And what is that? That's like over 8. I mean, obviously over 8.
So 5 come in a pack. Mm-hmm. So 9, right, times 5 is what, 45. Mm-hmm. So that's it's actually more, huh? Look, I didn't think about that. So like literally I buy about 9 to 10 packs of backwoods a day. So 5, that's basically from, I would say from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we've smoked 5 packs of backwoods. And then by the afternoon, there's another 5 packs of backwoods. And I know this because it's coming out of my pocket.
Right. So how much is that a day?
Just on blunts?
Or both?
So just on blunts, backwoods are about $8 a pack. Mm-hmm. Anywhere from $8 to $10 a pack to where you go. So if you add it, that's $50 mm-hmm. for 5 packs of backwoods, mm-hmm. right? So 10 packs of backwoods is $100 on top of the $250 that you've spent on weed already. So you're turning a daily habit. Now you have a $350 daily habit on weed.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and then if the weed, so like how normal smokers be, right? They get burnt out. Mm-hmm. You get buying weed from a certain person.
Yeah, right? And then you don't like the weed no more.
You don't like it at all.
Mm-hmm. Or it doesn't work anymore. You're like, I'm not even hot.
You think it doesn't work anymore, but what they don't understand, so they roll big Justo fingers, right? You're only burning so much of the weed. You're not burning the inside of the weed, mm-hmm. right? You're only burning the outsides of it, which is in the blunt. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you have all of the chemicals that are being produced onto the backwoods that you're inhaling also. Mm-hmm. They had a story about backwood has spider eggs in it. You know what I'm saying? There's so much stuff that they had in the news about them. And then I know older people that smoke and they won't smoke backwoods.
Wow. So everybody smokes in your household?
Everybody, except for my 12-year-old.
Okay. Are you sure?
Does not smoke. You hear me, America? So let's clarify that, and it's legal. Okay.
Okay. So do you think that your smoking influenced your kids to smoke?
I think that it probably played a role, right? Because like I said with me, mm-hmm. I grew up smelling it, mm-hmm. and it smelled good to me. I've never smoked a cigarette a day in my life, right? Mm-hmm. But weed smelled good to me. Mm-hmm. And I wanted, you know, I guess, cousins. I'm the only girl in 24 years in my family. Mm-hmm. So the only granddaughter, the only niece. So a lot of guys, mm-hmm. right? So the males in my family are like, you can't go, you can't do this, you can't go out with us, you can't meet our friends, you can't do any of that. You know what I'm saying? So me being around my friends, they smoke. Mm-hmm. Like in the same instance with my daughter. Mm-hmm. So I would say that it is somewhat of peer pressure. Right?
How does that make you feel that they might have been influenced by your smoking?
It doesn't make me feel bad because they're not smoking crack. Mm-hmm. Right? So,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? True. All the influences that they have, you know, that they are just seen walking down the streets. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Like on 71st Street, they're seeing crackheads walk up and down the street. They're seeing dope fiends walk up and down the street. Mm-hmm. They're not doing those. Mm-hmm. So I'm cool with the weed.
So what happened on the day that you almost lost your life?
Okay, well, first off, I just thought it was like a stomach pain and I was hungry because I haven't eaten all day. So I'm like, I know I need to eat something on my stomach. I started eating like some chips and stuff, little junk food, and it just didn't sit well with my stomach. So I started throwing up all night, all the way into the morning. Like I threw up the whole night. I didn't go to sleep, nothing. And then I tried to go home because I wasn't at home. I was at an Airbnb. So I tried to drive home and like, I almost didn't make it driving home because my stomach was hurting me like real bad. So I made it home finally. That's day one. I stayed and I was fighting through pain. Tried to go to the hospital the next day. The incident happened when they were saying they couldn't accept me because I had my ID and all that other stuff. So I was irritated, frustrated, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to go home. That's day two. I went back on day 3 Well, my mama had to call the ambulance because my body was weak.
What was your lifestyle like leading up to that? Like, what were you eating? How were you taking care of yourself? Like, what were you?
I wasn't taking care of myself at all. Like, I was working from 9 to like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every day, non-stop. So it was like, okay, I'll get Uber Eats or restaurant food fast. Like, I really didn't have no home cooked meals. And 2, I don't really eat a lot of like foods that's healthy at all. I don't eat condiments. I don't eat pretty much nothing, to be honest with you. And all my food be plain. So it's like my stomach, my body already weak because I'm not feeding it the right stuff. And then I'm draining my body working all day on top of that. And then I'm smoking all day. Like, I was smoking in between my clients. I was smoking before I got to my clients. I was smoking just to go to sleep. I was smoking pretty much to do anything. You feel me? So it was just like, it was too much on my body. It was tolling my body down. It was just draining all at once. And I ain't noticed it because I was just pushing myself and pushing myself. Until I crashed.
And then out of nowhere, your stomach just started hurting.
Yeah.
So that day, you went home, you was fighting through the pain. What made your mom want to call the ambulance?
Because my attitudes, I kept hopping in and out the shower. I couldn't eat nothing. And I was super weak. And like, my skin was turning pale.
Wow.
Like, I was real angry. I was emotional. It was just a lot.
Did you think it was the weed? Were you still smoking?
No, I didn't think it was the weed. Like, I couldn't even smoke. I couldn't smoke. I couldn't be around no smells. I couldn't smell nothing. Perfume, lotion, none of that. None of it. I couldn't be around none of it.
Wow.
Weed, it was driving my stomach. Any little smell would turn my stomach.
Wow.
Like, fast. Turn my stomach fast. It was to the point where I was like, I didn't even want to smoke. It was just like, okay.
When you were smoking, though, was it making it worse?
Not necessarily, because when I had stomach pains, I'd go smoke and it'll stop. So every time I did get a little stomach pain, I would smoke. Or if I was hungry, I knew I couldn't eat unless I smoked. So my stomach would be hungry, but I had to smoke a blunt just for me to eat. And it's really not even sticking because it's eating away my food as I'm smoking. So as soon as I eat, I turn it right back around, smoking. So I was like, it was blunts.
So when your mom called the ambulance, what happened?
When I looked at my daughter before they took her back there, my daughter was on death's door. She had lost 12 pounds in 3 days. She's already tiny.
Wow.
Right? Her lips were blue. Skin was very pale. She couldn't even sit up. Like, she was incoherent.
Wow.
So they rolled her back there. I did not see my daughter for a week. Wow. I went, I kept calling, talked to the doctors, and then they came and told me she had CHS. What is CHS? Cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome, right? What is that? She's overdosing off of weed.
Wow.
So what it does is the symptoms, nausea, stomach cramps. It'll confuse you to think that you have gastritis, right? So, her potassium levels were down. Her zinc levels was down. She was going into renal failure, which is liver failure. She's going into liver failure. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm understanding the severity of the situation, but my daughter is not, because she's never been in the hospital. So now she's in the hospital panicking. The IV infiltrates. I'm like, it's okay. It's just infiltrate. No, oh my God, I'm going crazy. Like, it was the worst feeling that a mother could have, because I couldn't reach out and touch her. You know? And like, I get it. You know? She's not a kid. I get that. She's not, but she's not alone either. She gave one nurse such a hard time, right? They sedated her.
Wow.
To where they put her in like a coma, like not a coma, but like a vegetated state. And like, I call her, I'm like, what's going on? and she's so sluggish and she's so down. And I'm like, what did you give her? And she's like, oh, I gave her the doses that she had yesterday. Well, what was the dosage? She was like, oh, what it was? No. What was the dosage that you gave her? On the phone with the hospital, the doctors, they told me, give them a break. Don't be so hard on them. They're working with corona patients. She did this to herself. You need to let her grow up. In that moment, you're right. You're absolutely right.
They kept you in the hospital for 7 days.
7 days exactly. Count.
Wow.
Trying to make myself go home. That's why I go home if I could hold down water, anything. I was literally sitting there trying to make myself hold it down. And then it was getting to a point where I would be able to hold it down for like a few hours. And then after a while, my stomach could just crash on me again. And I'd just be like, man, I'm never leaving here. Like, I'm never going to leave.
Damn. So when the doctor walked in and he had the diagnosis for what was wrong with you, what did he say?
He said that it could be me overdosing off weed. That's all he said.
Wow. So
I was like, overdosing off weed. Like, I looked at him. I'm like, oh, like, I never heard of that. But then again, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
how many, did you tell him the truth about like how many blunts you usually smoke in a day? And what did they say when you said like 40? They just
wrote it down, I guess.
Wow. So when he walked in and said you probably overdosed on marijuana, like what did you think?
I didn't believe him at first, but then at the same time, I was just ready to get out the hospital. So I was just like, okay, what you need me to do? Like, they told me to, they didn't say I had to stop smoking, but they told me that it would be a good idea to start smoking. And if I did start back smoking, that I should wait at least a few months until my body got healed and my stomach was healed, because I had to build my stomach back up, because I literally had an appetite of a penny, literally. Like, I could eat a piece of fruit and I'd be full. So I still keep fixing my stomach, because it's not all the way there. Like, my appetite will be on and off still to the day. But
so did he explain to you what it means to overdose on marijuana?
basically, no, not really, but he just was saying I was abusing the drug, basically.
Did he give it a name?
CHS.
CHS syndrome. Have you ever heard of CHS syndrome? Did you even know that you could overdose on weed? I know. I mean, like, the culture that we live in, you see your favorite rapper smoking back to back to back. You see Snoop Dogg glorifying weed, you know? Like, but no one has ever, I didn't even really know that you could overdose on weed. Like, that's new to me. And especially with marijuana being legal now in a lot of places and it becoming legal, I think a lot of people really need to know that you can overdose.
That's the thing, though. They did say there was other people that have came in and was having the same symptoms. Dream.
And what were your symptoms exactly?
I was dehydrated. My stomach, I was kept vomiting, and I was super duper cold. Like, I'm already anemic, so it was just like 10 times worse. Like, I was freezing. Like, freezing. I couldn't get warm for nothing. I had them giving me warm blankets. I had a heating pad. I had blankets on top of blankets, my clothes. I was just in the cold. Like, I couldn't get comfortable at all. No matter how I laid, how I positioned myself, I was not comfortable. My head was hurting. It was just...
Wow.
Everything was going wrong.
When she was gonna come home from the hospital, what was your thought process? Like, did you want her to stop smoking? Like, were you demanding that she do that? Like,
she's gone. She's 21. She's been doing what she wanted to do for a long time anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So, as a parent, you're either going to push them away or you're going to be there to support them through their demise. My mom never pushed me away. I can't remember anything wrong she ever told me either. You know? So why would I turn my back on you now when it's something I've been doing your whole life? You know what I'm saying?
Did you feel like you needed to stop smoking to like, or did you want the house to?
Excuse me, no, I am a weed head. I love Zod. I love the big Justo fingers. I do. I have to smoke because my anxiety goes through the roof because I'm a jack of all trade. I sell real estate. I'm a momager. I'm a chef. I'm a hustler, you know, with anything. You feel what I'm saying? Hustling just doesn't mean, oh, you sell drugs. No. Clothes, shoes, hair. Because that's the way I've had to be for so long because I'm a single parent. You feel what I'm saying? So when you wear those many hats and you have so much pressure, ain't nothing wrong with no smoke. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to smoke blunt when I leave here. You know? So,
Did you feel like it would? I mean, okay, so after she overdosed on marijuana, did you feel like maybe you guys should change in the household? Like, don't smoke around her, like, or no? Like, so when she came back,
you gotta have more willpower than that, baby. You feel what I'm saying? Like, is anything in your life is man over matter. You can't make me go and jump off that balcony because you went and jumped off that balcony. You understand what I'm saying? But we moved like to one room. You feel what I'm saying? To try to keep it away from her. But she was angry. She was going through withdrawals. She was not happy at all. And she needed something to calm her down. And she started back smoking. And I was on her. You don't need to smoke that much. You should monitor how you're smoking. You should just leave me alone. I'm grown. Okay, cool. And I went on about my business. You know what I'm saying? Because she's grown.
Yeah.
It's not like she's 12.
Yeah. It's out of your
You know what I'm saying? No, you got to do what I tell you to do because you're 12. You know? So, get on a good foot and we going to move forward because you're 12, not because you're 21.
Right.
And that's something that I had to learn. Like, she's not a baby. You know what I'm saying? And that's for all parents. Like, you want to hold on to your children so closely, but what you don't realize is that by you keep holding on, you pushing them away from you.
What do you want people to know about CHS? Like, what do you want the world to know? Because everybody smokes. It's like, it's legal in Chicago now. It just became legal in New York.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will identify with the way that you smoke. A lot of people smoke like that. That's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a fictitious thing. This is really real. And there's been 5 deaths from it in Indiana that has not been publicized. It's been deaths in other parts of the world too because of this, because by the time they get to the hospital, they don't know what's wrong with them. And it's too late, right? So not only weed, they're out here, a lot of kids pop pills. They're putting fentanyl on the pills. You know what I'm saying? To be aware is to be alive anywhere that you go. You know? So CHS is a very real thing. It's a very real syndrome. You can really overdose off marijuana. Just because I smoke don't mean you go out there and smoke 45 blunts. No, that's not for you. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn. Read. Your brain is the strongest muscle that you have in your body. Use it.
What was your plan after you left the hospital? Were you like, I'm never smoking again?
That was plan.
But I mean, when you went back home, what changed that? Or did it change?
I mean, I was good for a month. And then it was like, my birthday was coming up. And it was like, alright, I want to be a little teen. So that's what kind of kicked off my birthday. And me just wanting to have a little fun, I guess. A little extra fun. Because I could have had fun without it. But getting a little extra buzz, I guess.
Are you nervous about that happening again? Like, did you turn the amount of smoking down? Or
With that, I could say, now that I know what it is, and I know what's causing my body to react the way that it was, and it's not just me being hungry or something light, I know my limits now. So if I get too dehydrated first off, I continue to drink water when I smoke, and I only drink pH balanced water. I only drink cold water. But I get like a big bottle and I literally drink the whole bottle and smoke like a blunt or two. Then make sure I go put another bottle of water or something afterwards just to keep me hydrated. I keep fruit, smoothies, a lot of stuff that just keep my vitamins and my, keep me hydrated and stuff. That's really pretty much it. Once you hydrated, you'll be fine. Like, you just really got to stay hydrated while you smoking because it'll make you dehydrated. Once you get dehydrated, it's kind of over with.
What would you say to people that are critical of the situation and that are judging?
God ain't perfect. People gonna judge you regardless of whatever it is that you do. They're gonna always have an opinion. I put blonde hair in my hair the day I seen a girl. I just don't like blonde hair and brown skin people, but nobody care what you like. I like the 613. Whoa! You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't, everyone's entitled to their opinion, just like everybody's got an asshole. Don't use it if you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's everyone's gonna have an opinion. I don't care.
Okay.
Judge me for who I am.
Yeah.
Come find the truth. Come figure out what I got to make you want to judge me. You did? Because I'm just another kid from Chicago. I'm not perfect. Neither is my family. Neither is where I was raised at. Mm-hmm. Neither is some of the things that I've been through in my life. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you think. Judge me for some of the opportunities that I'm giving your children and my children. You feel me? So not only does it stop at we talking about my daughter almost overdosed that weed, how about let's talk about that we have a label.
So what do you guys got going on down here tonight?
We just making music, just trying to get some songs going.
Vibing, strong sessions, you feel me? Celebrating life, that we still here, that, many more achievements, A lot of people in this city, it's a survival game, so, you should always, be happy and turn up for your achievements.
That's her boy Peso Leak, you know what I'm saying? Bugup Entertainment, you already know that though. We just clicked up. I don't even know the name, you know what I'm saying? But you already know what it is though. We come for show. Take everything go for show. Just be on the lookout.
This is Don Don. We were Revelon Records and Bugup Entertainment. My boy ENT.
Don.
Finna take off,
Mm-hmm. How about let's talk about that we have a catering company? Mm-hmm. How about let's talk about that we're doing Feed the Homeless projects? How about let's talk about we teamed up with the alderman over here to do clothes drives? Let's talk about that. How about let's talk about our collaboration with Rap Like Midwest? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about those things. Mm-hmm. Then you judge me. Mm-hmm. Don't push your kids away. Listen to them. Hear them out. Support them. If they want to be a movie star, you can be a movie star. If you want to be a president, you can be a president. If you want to be a NASA scientist, you can do that too. You want to be able to do what you want to do, but support your kids, because if you do not, you will lose them.
Yes.
You will lose them. I almost lost my baby, and that feeling I don't ever want to go through again.
The marijuana laws are changing. It's now becoming more accessible for the masses to get their hands on weed. I'm not saying don't smoke. Just do your research. I'm DreaO, and I'm everywhere you go. Let me know your thoughts and comments below.
DreaO everywhere you go. Trust the process. Baby. Bugup Entertainment, nigga. Rap a lot in the West, baby.
Stop playing with us, man. Take over mob times, baby.
Throw the bees in there for Bugup.
You feel me?
No cap, you hear me?
It's more than rap. This family shit.
Man,
You feel me?
entertainment, it's a movement.
It's a strong movement.